Okay, welcome everyone. This is the Premier Chess Academy. This is the February 2022 winter session, and this is the adult intermediate, and this is week 1. So I figure we go over a few puzzles, and then we'll go over. I got some pretty brilliant blindfold games that were played. So we'll check those out. So here's a lead chess puzzle. So let's go back to the beginning. And so this is between a 2100 and a 2000. Okay. All right. So let's see. E4, C5, knight F3, A6. All right. So we got Sicilian. Okay. All right. So what's the purpose of C3? What do you guys think? Why would he do C3? Yeah, Samuel.
I assume to go D4.
Yeah, so he's preparing D4. So in the Sicilian, it's very common for white to play D4 and vie for the center that way. The one downside of that is after the capture, C takes D4, knight takes D4. Now white only has one center pawn, right? And black has two. And so the idea with C3 is he still wants to play D4, but he wants to replace it with another center pawn, right? And so he maintains the two center pawns occupying the center. So that's the idea. All right, C3, D5. Whoa, that's an interesting move. So this is an interesting move. So normally this wouldn't be a good idea. Like let's say if C3 was not played, it wouldn't be a good idea. Why? Because after takes, and then white has knight C3 developing a piece to a very natural square with tempo, right? So black would be kind of losing a move in that way. So in this case, perhaps black said, this move is justified because now that C3 is there, there's no knight C3, right? So I think he's justifying it that way. All right, so D takes. All right, D4. Okay, knight F6, C4. Okay, queen E4. Bishop E3. All right, bishop G4. Yeah, this queen looks a little bit I think vulnerable there because being in the center of the board with all these pieces still on the board just kind of now knight C3 comes attacking the queen again, forcing the queen to move. But actually the queen does not move. He takes on C3. Interesting move. Okay, G takes F3. Queen C3, C6, D5, Queen C7. Okay, Queen A4 check, Queen D5. Yeah, it seems like a weird move. Also, I mean, it just seems like knight, knight to D, B to D7 seems like the more natural developing move and blocking the queen. So Queen D7 looks a little strange to me. Okay, knight B5. Ooh, interesting threat. What is knight B5 threatening? If it was white to move, what would be the best move for white here?
Knight C7 check.
Yeah, so knight is threatening knight C7 check. Very nice fork. And of course, the queen cannot take the knight due to the it being pinned by the other queen on A4. So very nice threat there. So black decides to take the knight and sacrifice the exchange. Queen takes A8, Queen C7. Bishop takes C5. Okay, interesting. So if he takes the bishop, he loses his knight with check, and the king becomes very uncomfortable. Of course, this bishop is going to come here checking as well. That would be very uncomfortable. So yeah, he doesn't want to do that. So he goes E6, and then black goes bishop A7. All right. So now, it's black to move. So what's the best move? So this is the puzzle. So what's the best move here?
Well,
what do you think?
I think black has to put white in check. So I think he's got to go to A5.
Queen A5 check. All right, so queen A5 check. Let's say he goes maybe a king up here. That might be the safest. King E2. How would you follow up?
Yeah.
So now this knight is about to be lost.
What about
Actually,
bishop?
Okay, hold on. Let's go over this variation for a minute. Queen A5 check, King E2. Okay, how do we save the knight? I see one way to save the knight.
Well, the knight on F to D2 or D7, excuse me.
Yeah,
the-
okay, yeah, that does save the knight, true, because he can't take the bishop because he's gonna lose his queen. So I was thinking also bishop D6,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
developing the piece and then getting ready to castle,
Yeah, that's better.
right? So I was
Yep.
thinking about that. All right, what else? Is there another good move here? What do you think? Wait, what were you saying, Eugene?
I was saying bishop to D6 right off the bat.
So bishop D6 now. Let's see here, bishop D6.
Yeah, because
Mm.
no matter what if he doesn't take, the bishop takes the knight, queen taking, you're trading.
Okay, so
And if he doesn't, you can always castle, and then you have the rook attacking the queen too.
all right, so I see one way that bishop D6 may not be the best move. What do you guys think?
Oh, that's right. If the white pushes the pawn,
Yeah, I think C5, and then black has some problems, right? If he goes bishop E5, what's a good move now?
D6.
Yeah, D6. Now the bishop is cut off from the knight protecting it, helping the queen, and then probably the best move might be queen up here, check, and then castle probably. Yeah, so it'll be interesting, or maybe knight back.
What about bishop b4 right off the bat?
Yeah, I was looking at bishop b4 also. So we have two checks, bishop b4 check. Actually, we have three checks, right? So queen here, queen a5, queen e5, and bishop b4. So bishop b4 is nice because we're developing the bishop with tempo and preparing the castle, which would also add protection on the knight. All right. So what do you think? All right. So
after
bishop b. Yeah, go ahead.
And then king moves, and then you castle, and then the queen is trapped no matter what.
Well, the queen's not trapped, I'd say. Okay, after there, okay, check, and then let's say king d2, castle, and then maybe he can just take here, and the rook can take back, and then the queen just escapes back up. Maybe let's see, where's it? Oh, the queen just go to a7. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then after,
But
right.
it looks like the
Wait,
queen.
Wait, what about queen a7, bishop c5?
Queen a7.
C5.
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that
Then-
looks like that looks like the queen's trapped. Right, exactly. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because this queen looks all stuck in the corner and probably not a good place for the queen to be. So yeah, I'm leaning more towards bishop b4 check. Right, developing a piece, castling, getting the rook into play. What do you guys think? Looks good?
Yep.
Looks good to me. All right, so let's see. Let's see here. Ooh, nice. All right, so just to make sure, let's just take another look. Yeah, I think castling is the best. Get the rook into play. Let's see. Nice, excellent. All right, so let's just okay, so that's the end of the puzzle, but let's just play it through a little bit. So I think the current threat is just moving the knight and the queen is trapped, right? And or if he tries to take here, take, queen comes a7, and now we have bishop c5 and beautiful queen trap. Yeah, very nice. And even d6 doesn't work because you can take with check. All right, everybody see that? It's very nice, very nice queen trap there. Cool. All right, awesome. You want to do one more puzzle? Or you want to go straight to the games?
we can do another puzzle.
Yeah, let's do another puzzle. I like these. Ooh, we got an end game here. I like these end games. All right, so let's go back. All right, so we got there's between a 2100 and a 2000. All right, so let's see. So d4 knight f6, c4, d6, c3. Okay, we got like what's this called? King's Indian, I think. All right. Castle, queen d2. Okay, so it looks like he wants to trade away the fianchetto bishop with bishop h6. All right, knight c6. This move kind of looks weird to me in this kind of situations because I don't know, it just seems like it's blocking the c pawn, and I don't generally like to block the c pawn. It just looks weird to me. To me, more natural would be maybe c5 or c6, and then maybe developing the knight here and then going for e5. That seems to be a little more natural. But okay, let's see. Knight c6. Also, because white is having he can have a pretty big, substantial pawn center here, and then having the knights behind in front of the pawns, right in front of his own pawn, just seems like he can get kicked around too much. So yeah. All right, bishop h6, e5. Okay, takes. All right, castle, takes. Okay, bishop f5, a3, rook fd8, takes, e3, e4. Interesting. Knight d2, knight e5. Yeah, definitely. The f2 pawn seemed like a weakness. I was looking at. I was just thinking about this line. If he went knight h4, trying to trade away the bishop, probably the best move, I think, would be knight g5 or g4. And how is he going to protect this? There's only one way, right? He's got knight d1, and then what's black's best move after that?
Rook takes d1
Yeah.
check.
Very good. Yeah, we got a nice exchange sacrifice. Or you can say, you can say this is like a decoy sacrifice. King takes d1, then we got knight takes f2, and a beautiful fork there. And that was really nice material. Okay, so knight d2, knight e5, h3, h5. Yeah, I would definitely prevent that. g4, you don't want that to happen. Bishop e2, knight d3 check, bishop takes. Okay, how would you guys take back here? Would you take with the pawn? Would you take with the rook? What do you guys think?
I'll take it with the pawn because you have the rook behind it.
All right, what do you guys think? Eugene and Samuel and Sean.
I like taking with the rook because it activates the rook.
Okay.
Oh, I like taking with.
Taking with the pawn kind of lets him off the hook because you're closing up the file again.
Right.
I like-
what do you
I
think,
like
Samuel?
I like taking with the rook because if you take with the pawn, you might allow some e4 ideas in the future. Cutting
Right.
the-
You take with the pawn. This pawn, it looks strong, but it's not easily to be protected by another pawn. And then yeah, f3 e4 blocks the bishop, and then this pawn might be lost. So you got to be careful with that. So yeah, I think taking with the rook is a little bit better, even though it maintains equality in the pawn structure. But yeah, you want to make sure that these advanced pawns don't become, a weakness for you. So yeah, f3 e4 is kind of hard to avoid that. All right, so he took with the pawn. All right, let's see what happens. We just predicted it, right? f3, c6, e4. Very nice. Now look at this. Like, how do you, now he can maybe try to gang up on this pawn somehow, and maybe like knight d1, knight f2, and or maybe eventually king b2, king c3. It's going to be difficult to protect that pawn again. All right, so bishop b6. Okay, b3, h4. All right. Knight a4. All right. Okay, so for the most part, well, right now, so white failed to get a good attack on this pawn. Maybe better than knight b2 would have been bringing the king up to c3 and then bringing the knight back. Now you have two attackers on the pawn, right? You guys see that? That seems to me to be a little bit stronger. But definitely this knight h5, knight f4 is annoying because now it's targeting the weak g2 pawn. Also, it's protecting. Also, it's saying I could also jump on e2 if I need to, and so that's a pretty good square for the knight. All right, so knight b2, knight h5, rook d1, knight f4, knight f1. All right, so now Now white is saying, okay, I want to trade pawns. You take mine, I'll take yours. So he does, takes. All right. And he loses another pawn there. Knight h2, g5, king d2, knight f4, takes. All right, so now we got double isolated pawns on the F file. We got an isolated pawn on the H file, and knight versus a bishop. So most of the times in endgames, bishops are usually superior because they're long range pieces, and there's usually less pieces on the board in the endgame. But sometimes the knights can be, in close positions.
Danilo, not to interrupt, but I
Oh.
just had a quick second, so I
Oh yeah,
wanted
there you
to
go.
say hello.
Hey Evan.
Yeah, so as you guys know, obviously Danilo was teaching tonight, but just wanted to quickly say hello. I will be teaching most of the weeks of the semester. I had something else going on tonight, but wanted to quickly say hello. And yeah, thanks for joining us. And I'm actually really glad Danilo is starting with this endgame. Because one very common theme I've actually noticed, just talking to a lot of strong players over the last few months, is how little we all know about endgames, including myself. I was actually rooming at the US Open with a friend who was a grandmaster, Robert Ungaski, and he was playing someone around my level. And he got back from the round and he was like, the minute I knew we got in the endgame, I knew I was going to win. And I was looking at it, I was like, what do you mean? I thought it was equal all along. I thought the game would maybe even be a draw. But he was like, no, I knew he was gonna make a mistake. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's around my level. Right. Meaning if Robert plays me and he's in an equal end game, he knows for sure he's gonna win. Right. I was like, wow, and have work to do. So yeah, end games are very important. So anyway, just thought I'd say hello and enjoy. Yeah. And I'll see you all next week.
Thanks for that, Evan. Have a good night.
Bye.
All right. So so we have weaknesses here for black on the F file, weakness on the H file. Maybe if so the king has a maybe a point of invasion here, or he can try to somehow bring the bishop out and try to push the pawn. But if the knight stays here and if the king is able to block, it might be difficult for white to make progress, or sorry, for black to make progress. So it may not necessarily be a lost endgame. So let's see. All right, so king e2, bishop e6, king f2. All right, king g6, knight f1, f5. All right, b5, takes. Yeah, so this is very wise in an end game against the bishop. You want to make sure you place your pawns on the opposite color so they are unable to be attacked by the bishop. So very wise. All right, so bishop c4, takes, knight e4. All right, so the knight's proving to be pretty useful here in this end game. Very nice. Oh, he drops a pawn there. All right. By the way, this is a 4-minute blitz game, so that may explain some of the mistakes. So knight d6 check. Okay, he drops the pawn there. a6. All right, knight c3. All right, interesting. Okay, so now, all right, so let me ask you this. You're white. What would you do? Would you take this bishop?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, you got to calculate now. Now you got to think, his king is pretty close to my pawns here, but my king can come around. Oh, sorry. My king can come around to h3, take the pawn, and then take this pawn and then run. So the question is, who's faster, right? So in this game, white chose to take. All right. So now the question is, so this is black to move. So here's the puzzle. So black to move. It looks like recapturing the knight is the obvious move. I don't see why you wouldn't do that.
Could you go back and move?
Say again?
Could you go back and move real quick?
Sure. So knight was there. So you just captured.
I was wondering instead maybe knight e2 and keep the king tied down.
Yes. Yeah, so knight e2 forks the king and the pawn, so he would have to come back. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Yeah, and then I think after that, Black would eventually, or I think he should play bishop c4, and then try to trade away this king, the knight, and then just run over here. I think that would be the best option for Black. So I think White was just saying, you know, I better get rid of this bishop, because now the game is getting pretty open. So this bishop is probably stronger than the knight, you know, in these open end games. So that's probably a major reason why he chose to take. So yeah. So all right. So I'm assuming retaking the knight is the best move here. What do you guys think? Make sense? No brilliancy can occur with these pawns, I think, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I think you can push the H pawn and then take the knight anyway, because he really can't move it.
You mean push the H pawn now, or take the knight first?
No, push the H pawn now.
Oh, you're saying
Make
push
the
the H
king
pawn.
go.
So if you
The
push the
king
H pawn,
has to chase it.
well, if you push the H pawn, now he just takes your pawn here, and now he's gonna win this one
Oh,
too,
it's protected. Yeah.
right? So I'm
yes.
thinking we have to get rid of the knight. So I think so. Yeah. All right. Good. Okay. So now we have a king and pawn end game. All right. So looks pretty straightforward, but you know, always be wary of straightforward end games. So what do you guys think? Black to move here.
King d4.
Okay, so with king d4, it seems like you want to go this way, right? You want to go towards the f pawn.
Yeah.
Is that the idea? Let's see. All right, so king d4, king h, king h3. Interesting. All
How
right,
about king c4 and then
yes,
like
yes,
the
yes. I
other?
think, yes, I think the two questions are: you want to go king c4 or king d4? So basically, going after these pawns or going after this pawn, the f pawn, right? So if we go after the f pawn, so king d4, king h3, king e3. If he takes, of course, takes, and now I think Black just wins, because now he's got a clear path and it's over, right? So let's see, king d4. Yeah, so I guess if he goes king d4, maybe the best move is maybe a4.
And
Right.
then king c4.
And then king c4.
I think Black still wins that. If you count for, if Black goes to c4 and goes after White's pawns, and White is doing the same thing on the other side of the board, it's going to take White a minimum of 10 moves to get his pawn down after he's cleared away the Black pawns. Black can do it in 9 moves.
Well, okay, so let's look at this. So if king d4 and then a4 and then king c4, what's the best move for White?
He's got to do h6, but I think that loses for him.
No, for White. For
No, I
White.
think I'm sorry, if White goes to h3, I think White's still losing.
H3.
Yeah.
H3, king takes, king over here. No, I think that complicates. I think the simpler way to do it, king d4, a4, king c4, and now you push. You push b5. Yeah, because if he pushes a5, now we got a protected pass pawn, and now that's just winning for White. If he captures the pawn, then we get rid of all these pawns over here, and then Black just gathers up all these and then wins pretty easily. Right? So I'm sorry, White just gathers up all these. I mean, it wins easily. Yeah. So we don't want that then. So all right, so but I think king d4, let's see, king d4, yeah, maybe a4 refutes that, right? Or maybe, okay, so let's see this. Okay, so let's see this. So king d4, a4, king e3, and then if he goes b5, then you go check. And now you're threatening to push this pawn if he doesn't take. If he takes, you take this one.
I think White wins that.
Go here. Oh yeah, White wins. Yeah, he promotes, and then we're only on f2.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. So all right. So what do you think? I think then maybe king c4 is best, perhaps.
I think so. I think king, it's complicated, but I think the black king wins the race here by one move.
My one move.
Yeah, I think you can clear those 2 pawns and get your black pawn down in 9 moves. Or about, there's
King,
about.
king c4, king h3, king b3, takes, king g4.
See, now it takes the other one,
king-
and then it's a race, and black wins it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, then he's got to get out of the way. And then
Exactly, the king has to get out of the way,
Yeah.
and the white king has to get out of the way, and the white king has to kill 2
Right.
black pawns that are separated by a space.
right.
Whereas, yeah,
Yeah. So okay, so king c4 looks like it, right? We're all agreeing on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's see. King c4. Ooh, nice. All right, and now we continue with the plan. Nice, awesome. Let's just play it through just to make sure here. Yeah, and now.
yeah, that extra move kills him that he has to get out of the way.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Woo, loses by a tempo. Oh my goodness. That is a close one. Very nice, very nice. All right, good. Let's look at the game here. Let's see. We got all right, so blindfold game. So let me just ask you guys a question. Have you guys ever played any blindfold games? First of all.
No, I haven't.
No,
No.
you never tried that? Okay. Because I've tried that a couple times and it's a lot of fun. And I'm actually I practice that with my kids. My kids are I have a 9-year-old daughter and 11-year-old son. I'm encouraging them to do blindfold because I think it really it practices their memory, you know.
Were you able to make it all the way through a game without misplacing a piece because you forgot where something was? I mean,
So sometimes I notice with myself, sometimes I forget like about a piece entirely. But other than that, I pretty much know where all the pieces are. So I can do one game blind. Like I have a couple of videos on I have a chess YouTube channel, and I have a couple of videos of me doing a blindfold game like a few years ago with this 8-year-old kid, and he was able to do it blindfold as well. So we were both blindfolded, and we did it until like checkmate, until check. No one resigned, right? So it was until like it lasted like 34 moves the game, and then I recorded. It took about 20 minutes the whole game. It was a lot of fun. And I did it a few times with him. So he's really, yeah, he's a great kid. But yes, blindfold is a great practice for your, for your memory. And it really encourages you to really, get a feeling for where the squares are on the board, and yeah, so I like to practice that with my kids. And actually my kids, I do a lot of driving because we homeschool. And so I'm in the car for an hour. So sometimes what I've done is I have a travel magnetic chessboard. And so sometimes what I do is while I'm driving, they have the chessboard, they're looking at the chessboard and they're playing me and they're yelling out the moves and I'm yelling out the moves back. So I'm blindfolded but they're not, and they still haven't beaten me yet. That's another fun thing to do. But yeah, so anybody know the current record for the most number of simultaneous blindfold games? Anybody know?
No, I don't.
Because actually Evan has a podcast. I don't know if you guys know that, but he's got a podcast and he interviews various people, a bunch of grandmasters as well. And he actually interviewed the grandmaster that is holding the current record for the most number of blindfold simultaneous games. And it's 48 games. 48 games blindfold. And apparently he took, actually I brought it up here. Let me just show you guys. I brought it up here. So his name is Timur Goreyev. 48 games simultaneously, Las Vegas in December, 80% win rate, right? It took him 23 hours to play all the games, all while he was on an exercise bike on which he rode the equivalent of 50 miles. Amazing.
Yeah, they left out that he has 180 something IQ.
I know, right? So yeah, it's really an amazing skill, and just like anything, it's a muscle, and you got to practice. So I suggest you guys do, just do it as much as you can. Just practice, see how you can go. Like maybe you can do 5 moves blindfolded, right? And then you kind of forget the pieces. Then you try to do 6 moves and 7 moves, and slowly, you build up your memory that way. So it's good practice. All right, so we have, yeah, go ahead. Okay. All right, so first game I have for you is Paul Morphy, who's the first unofficial world champion from New Orleans in the 19th century. He's 12 years old, so he was a famous child prodigy. and he was he loved blindfold games and played blindfold simultaneous games as well. So this one was when he was 12 years old, 1849, New Orleans. So let's go through the game. E4, E5, F4. So we have King's Gambit. This is very common opening in the 19th century because it was so sharp, so tactical, so exciting. Not really played that much today in like top level professional chess. Probably it's because it's just too weakening for the king, but at that time it was very popular. All right, so oh, by the way, Morphe's white, just to let you know. All right, so F4, E takes F4. So knight F3, of course, to discourage to discourage Queen H4 check. But actually, there's an abundance of games where black or white kind of invites black to do this on purpose. You know, he doesn't discourage, he doesn't prevent Queen H4 like bishop C4, you know, and then the queen comes down and the king comes over to F1 and play continues. It looks like the king is kind of in danger, but not really, you know, so it's not that much in danger. Now he's ready to play knight F3 with tempo. So that's another way to proceed. All right, so knight F3, G5. Okay, so here, sometimes black gets greedy and holds on to the pawn really steadfastly, which is probably not a good idea, but some people do that, especially computers do that too. All right, so H4, attempting to undermine this pawn chain. So G4, he played attacking the knight. So now there's a okay, so he moved the knight G5, but there's also another variation of the King's Gambit, bishop C4, and then inviting this knight sacrifice here again for a gain of initiative. Anybody know what that's called? That's a specific name for that gambit.
I don't know what it's called, but I've seen that variation before.
Yeah, it's called the Muzio Gambit. Muzio Gambit, and I don't think there's that many gambits that are, you know, like considered part of like theory where they involve minor pieces. This is the only one that I've seen that involve. Actually, you know what? No, I think the what do you call it? The what's it called? The fried liver. That also you sacrifice the minor piece, right, on F7, right? I think so. So yeah, but not that many. Sacrifice a minor piece in the opening, but yes, this is one of them. So here he doesn't do that. He goes knight G5, H6. All right. So what do you think? What do you think Morphy did here? What do you guys think?
Knight takes F7.
Yeah, it just looks like it's asking for it. Knight takes F7. He wants to lure the king out. So we have knight takes F7. Of course, if he doesn't take, it's a fork on the king and the rook, or the queen and the rook. So he takes the knight. Then we have queen takes G4, queen F6. Okay, what would you play? Very, very natural looking move here.
Bishop C4.
Yeah, bishop C4, develop with tempo. Bishop C4 check, king E7. All right, so now what would you play? White to move. What would you play here?
D4.
No, I would.
Okay, so D4 hangs the pawn, and now we got an attack on the bishop and the pawn.
Oh yeah.
All right, so
What about castles right now?
castles. Okay, so castles, and then we have queen D4 check, and he wins the bishop. All right. So what else? Unless you want to do that.
Well,
Wait, you can play bishop take.
F8. Rook F1 without the castle.
Rook F1. Yeah, that's an interesting move. Yeah, you're activating the rook
Yeah.
and threatening to bring it into play. Gene, what did you say? Did you say take the knight now?
I'm not sure how that works, but
So yeah,
he can't take it back with the rook because he'd lose the rook to the queen.
yeah. So the knight, it's true that the knight is, you can say, free. Maybe after H5, he would win back the bishop, actually. Like, where would the queen go? Right. And the other thing is he sacrificed a piece already. Oh, sorry. He sacrificed a piece on F7. So probably his goal is not material. Probably his goal is attacking the king.
Knight C3 threatening knight to D5 is also pretty good. Because you're
Yes.
threatening fork and you're also threatening, C7.
Exactly. This is a beautiful move, and this is what he played. Knight C3. Natural developing move. If you can make your moves multi-purpose, even better when you're playing chess. So Knight C3 is a natural developing move anyway. In addition to that, it's threatening Knight D5. Nice royal fork, right? Very nice. So Knight C3. Then we have C6. All right. So white to move. What do you think he played?
I think white played rook F1.
Rook F1. All right, so that's good. Threatening to bring here into play. Yeah. Not so I wouldn't say it's a bad move, but it's not what he played. But yeah, it's a good move. All
What
right, so
about just white pawn to D3?
pawn to D3. Okay, opening up the bishop, trying to bring the bishop into
Right.
play. Okay, good move too. He played something a little bit more aggressive, stronger. What do you think?
Does he play? I know this seems crazy, but does he play E5?
Yeah, he plays E5. Crazy, right? So he really wants to open up the Z file for the king, right? And he's even saying, I'm even going to do it with a check. You could even check my king, which he does. So E5 check.
Now king to F2,
Where do you think the king went?
king to F2, because he wants to bring his rook over.
So king F2, and now you got king D4. You
King-
fork, yeah. Fork.
Does he care necessarily though?
King D1.
Maybe.
King D1.
Yeah, king
King
D1 he did. Why do you think he went king D1?
Because that threatens rook E1 and
Excellent.
you can't.
Yeah, now you're evacuating E1 and threatening the king and the queen, right? So very nice move, and also getting the king out of any harm's way here. So king D1, we have king D8. He goes rook E1, brings the rook into play with tempo. Queen C5. Okay, now he does take the knight here. Okay, D5. Now white to move. What do you think he played here? So D5, by the way, discovering an attack on the queen.
Rook E8 check.
Yeah, rook E8 check. Did I show you this game before, Samuel?
No.
No.
I
Okay.
just,
Rook E8 followed by queen takes bishop.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
rook E8. Yeah, he sacrificed the rook right here. Very nice sacrifice. Bringing the
I
king
thought-
out.
I thought that since this was Paul Morphy, he'd probably do something like that.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, you can think you can kind of imagine the moves based on who's playing them, right? So yeah, king takes, and now the bishop is taken with check. King E7. All right, now white to move. What do you think?
Can he play queen to E6 check again?
All right, so queen E6 check, king comes back, and now how would you follow up?
Oh, queen to F6 check, and you win the rook.
That's true. You do win the rook. This is a fork, but
But
After-
after that, Queen G1 check.
yeah, now he gets the chance to harass White's king, and that's no good. So here, I mean, White would be winning by material, but yeah, it's just he's just gonna harass the king, and that's annoying. So he probably is not gonna go after material. All right, so he didn't do Queen E6. So what else?
Queen takes B7.
Queen takes B7. All right, so you can do that too. Let's see, where would we go? Let's see here. Maybe. Yeah, because if he goes to F6, we have a check here. I mean, yeah. And if he goes to E6, again, if you take the rook, now you're getting a lot of checks here. So yeah.
But what about Queen C7 check? After
Queen C7 check here. Let's see. If you go there, now you get a chance. You give me a chance to develop the knight now.
Oh, right.
Yeah. All right. What else? You did a pretty nice move here. Oh, keep in mind, guys, this is a blindfold game, and Paul Morphy is 12 years old. So I don't know if that makes you. I don't know if that makes you feel good or bad about yourself.
That's right.
Is
I
it
played Carissa Yip when she was 7, so I know.
Is it simply 90? Is it
She
just a-
slaughtered me.
Oh yeah. Nice. Wait, what'd you say? What'd you say, Samuel?
is it-
Carissa Yip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Is it-
she's now international master. She was the youngest in the world to beat a grandmaster.
Ah, right. Yeah, I did. I remember seeing her in the chess life.
Is
Samuel,
it-
what are you saying?
Is it just 92?
Knight E2. No,
Oh,
too passive. Knight E2, you can probably just take this bishop now. Yeah. All right. What else? Strong move, attacking move here.
Does he sack something on D5? Does he?
Not-
Can he do bishop to D5 or something?
Bishop, you want bishop? You can
Oh,
take with the
bishop or
bishop
knight.
or the knight. Which one?
Yeah, it's that's a tough one, but
What
maybe
if you
the-
move the knight to D? What if you actually knight to D5, but
you know
then
what? It's the knight. You take the knight because basically he can't recapture, because if you can't recapture with the pawn, queen takes queen.
Excellent. That is the move. Very nice move. Knight takes D5. Very powerful move. Knight is protected by the bishop. Right, queen is unprotected. Therefore, the C pawn is pinned. Very beautiful move. And he's only got one safe square, which is king D6. And now what do we do?
well, queen takes F8 check wins the queen.
Queen F8 check wins the queen. Good point. But we have even something better in this position.
Take
than
queen
that.
D8. Isn't that checkmate?
No,
No, queen D8.
Oh, he's got.
Yeah.
No.
No. What's better than queen takes F8 here?
queen C7 check.
Queen
mate.
C7. That's how
Yeah.
he finished. That's how he finished it. Queen
Ah.
C7 is mate. Very nice mate. Look at that mate. Beautiful. And he's got one more mate. Can you find it?
Queen E6.
Queen
E6.
E6. Yeah, queen
E6, right?
Yeah, very nice mate. So yeah, beautiful game by Paul Morphy. Blindfolded, 12 years old. Just amazing. All right, good. So let's go on. Let's do another one then. Very nice. So this is Paul Morphy again versus Ross. This is 9 years later. So he would be 21 years old, 1858. This is a blindfold simul, New Orleans. All right, so let's see this one. So we got Morphy is white. Okay, E4, E5, F4 again, King's Gambit. F takes, knight F3, C6, knight C3, bishop E4, bishop C4, takes, knight E7. Okay, white to move. What would you play in this position? Oh, by the way, Samuel, you want to know if I would do blindfold against you?
Yeah.
Sure. That would be a lot of fun.
The bishop recaptures pawn.
Um,
Bishop takes F4.
so this is the natural move. I think most people would do that. But of course, if I'm asking you what's the best move in this position, he probably did not do the natural move, right?
Bishop takes F7.
All right, so Samuel goes for the sack. He says this is Paul Morphy, he must have sacked. Let's see. Bishop takes, king takes. Okay, how would you follow up here?
Knight to E5.
All right, so 95. Let's see here. I mean, he looks pretty safe on G8. There's no other checks,
Yeah.
you know? And queen can come out, but the queen can then block, and
What if he castles now? And
maybe you castle. I mean, it just seems he seems like he's safe here,
yeah,
so maybe not the best time to sack. So he didn't do that one. What did he do here?
Knight to E5.
All right, let's look at 95. So it looks like he's attacking the bishop, or you're attacking the bishop. Okay, that just gives him a chance to castle, I think, and now he's pretty safe. Yeah. So I can give you a hint if you want, or you want to keep trying.
You didn't do knight to G5.
Knight G5. Oh, okay. Again, it targets F7.
And again, gives the queen the way out to get into the game.
All right. And then maybe, yeah, maybe Queen H5. That could be strong because now you're targeting everything here. That's a lot. That's a lot of, oh, sorry. That's a lot of targeting. He's probably forced to do that. I mean, he's probably going to win, but it's unclear, you know, it's unclear. So
Yeah.
stronger than Knight G5.
Huh. He doesn't sack yet. So let's see.
No,
He doesn't sack, he doesn't recapture. That's tricky.
nope.
What about castles?
Okay. Natural move. I mean, not strong enough. I think so another idea when you're playing your games is that sometimes you have to see what your opponent's doing and you have to think,
Oh.
what is my opponent trying to do? And how
Oh.
can I prevent my opponent from doing that?
Does he do H4
H4.
to keep him from doing the knight to G6 or to harass the knight when he goes to G6?
No,
No.
no, not H4.
No.
Is it D6 right away?
Queen
Stopping-
D6. Yes, amazing. Yeah, pretty. Very nice prophylactic move. Like, look how cramped and paralyzed now Black's queen side pieces are, right? And obviously, you know, with C6, Black desperately wants to play D5, right, to open up his bishop and activate his queen side pieces. And so, of course, Paul Morphy takes a moment and says, no, I'm not gonna let you do that. He puts a complete cramp on Black's queen side pieces. Pretty nice prophylactic move, right? Not so, you know, not a sacrifice, not a capture, not a developing move, just completely prophylactic move. So very nice move. Queen D6, castle. Now he takes the bit, now he takes the pawn. So, you know, now that all the pieces are paralyzed, now he finishes development. Knight G6. Okay, what would you play? You're white here. What would you play here?
Well, bishop to G5.
Very nice move. Yeah, bishop G5. So very nice move because it looks like obviously he would play F6, but in this case you can't. Sorry, due to the bishop, right? Bishop is pinning the pawn, so this pawn is stuck on F7, and so this queen is getting harassed a lot. So bishop G5, queen E8, and what would you do? What would
Queen
you do?
side castle.
Queenside castle.
Queenside castle. Yeah, that's a good option. He chose kingside castle though, but
Okay.
I think queenside castle is fine too. Let's just see. I'm just curious. Let's see what the computer says here. Ooh, computer agrees with all of us.
I think queenside castle is a bit safer.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. I mean, maybe he did it because he wanted a rook on the F file. You know, once the knight moves because he has no pawn on the F file. So probably that. But all right. So castles, king H8. Okay, now the pawn is unpinned. He wants to get rid of this bishop. Rook A to E1, F6. Okay, white to move. What do you think he did?
Uh, I mean, you'd love to sack on F6, but I don't think you can because of that rook.
Yeah, you take here, rook takes, and now Black seems fine. Also, so the queen's going to move. Now you're going to allow him to do D5,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you don't want that to happen. So what
Yeah.
else?
Can you just do bishop H4, and if he takes it with the knight, then you recapture and you've activated your rook?
Bishop H4, knight takes. No.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe he wouldn't even capture. Maybe he just try to
Yeah.
try to trade things that way and block up these rooks.
Well, knight e5 doesn't work because knight takes c5, and no matter what you capture back with.
Wait, hold on. So you said 90. Okay, hold on. 95 doesn't work because of right, because of the pin, right?
Yeah.
You're right. Good point. Yeah, so you can't take back. Yeah, mate. And queen takes, followed by mate. Good. Yeah, so 95 you can't do. Yeah. I mean, maybe, okay, then maybe he just goes about somehow developing, but you see how difficult it is for black to develop anything here. He's really functioning right now with it's almost like he's down a rook, a knight, and a bishop because these pieces are just having such a difficulty getting in the game. It's a pretty amazing position. All right. So what did white do here? What do you think?
Did he do e5?
E5, yes, trying to open up lines, right, for his rooks. Very important. He says, I don't care about this bishop. I just want to open lines because right now, black is essentially functioning on -2 minor pieces in a rook. So if he can open up lines, he'd just be winning based on material, you know, because these pieces are effectively out of the game right now, you know. So very nice move. E5. So what do you think? Do you think black took this bishop?
Is there a reason he can't? It seems like
Well, what do you think?
he seems like he can get away with it.
If you were black, would you feel comfortable taking this bishop?
No, because knight takes g5, rook takes f1, rook takes f1, and
Yeah, that would make white very
Yeah.
happy, I think, taking that bishop.
Yep.
Now the rook is open, the knight's ready to jump on here. This king is very uncomfortable.
That's true, because then black is down to basically 2 pieces, a knight and a queen.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a pretty strong position for white. All right, so he didn't take the bishop. He said, I'm going to try desperately to keep this f file closed. So he goes f5 and trying desperately to keep the e file closed. All right, so Morphy plays knight d4, targeting the f pawn. He said, and black is getting desperate, he pushes it again. Like how weak this pawn is becoming. But what else can he do? You know, he can't activate these pieces at all. So he's trying desperately to keep everything closed.
g3.
All right, so g3. Okay, that's an interesting move. Yeah, he will kind of either lose the pawn or open up the f file. No, he didn't play that. So Morphy chose to go e6 and open up the e file this way on his own terms, right? So now he's opening up his bishop a little bit, but now the rook is getting activated as well. So e6 takes. Okay, how would you take back now? What do you think?
How about the knight?
Yeah, knight I think is
Knight,
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, so knight
Yes.
takes, very nice. Attacking the rook, also threatening, you know, discovery and the queen, very nice. So bishop takes. Okay, what would you take back now?
Rook.
Rook.
Yeah, very nice. Rook, taking back with the rook, with tempo, right? Very nice. Rook takes e6, queen c8. Okay, what would you do here? You're white.
Does he maybe do rook take knight?
Yeah, it looks like it's asking for it, right? Really, you know, opening up the bishop and
Yeah,
his bishop.
you're opening up H and you're getting a knight and a pawn for your trouble. So
Yep, you're opening up the H file and you're opening up the bishop. It just seems
Yeah.
like disaster for black. So yeah, he definitely took this knight. Rook takes g6, H takes, queen takes. Okay, so now what is white threatening? It's white to move.
Queen h5 checkmate.
Queen h5 mate. And what's that called? What kind of mate is this? Anybody know? What's the name? of it?
Ardor.
Corridor
Is it-
mate. What's another name for it? Anybody know? There's one more name. Anastasia's mate, right? Anastasia or corridor mate. It's basically the same as back rank mate, only on the H file or the A file, right? And yeah, very nice. So yeah, so threatening queen h5. So he went. So how would you defend against that if you were black? What would you do?
Sign.
Well, let's see, black's winning by some material by 1 pawn, but yeah, there's a way you can defend against this. What do you think?
Well,
There's actually 2 ways.
or queen f5. is
Yeah,
one.
queen f5 is one way, and what's another way?
Queen g4.
Okay, queen g4, yeah, that's another way. True. Actually, queen g4, I don't know if that would work, because then what would you do after h3?
Yeah, that's
Right. So yeah, so queen f5 is one way. What's another way?
Oh, queen e8.
Yeah, queen e8. Good. So now we're skewering protection of h5, right? So very nice. So yeah, he chose queen f5. Okay, white to move. What would you do?
Rook takes f4.
Ooh, nice move. Why would you do that? Very nice move. So you're sacrificing your queen.
Because rook takes f8.
All right, so before I move the pieces, Samuel, let's see if you can see it. So rook takes f4, queen takes g6. Then what would you do? Okay, rook takes f8, king h7. Now what?
Bishop g8 checkmate.
No, bishop g8 is not checkmate. You can go back to h8.
No, bishop to d3, it pins the queen and the king.
Yeah, you can go bishop d3 also and win back your queen that way. True. So yeah, he played rook takes f4, queen takes g6, rook takes, king h7. All right. So what do you think white played here? So Gene, you say bishop d3.
Right.
That's one way to win the queen, but he didn't play that one. What do you think he played?
Pawn to h4.
No, you go pawn h4 and then his queen takes here and now you can't. I don't think you can win back the queen.
Did he play bishop g8 check?
Yeah, so bishop g8 check, king h8, then what?
Bishop
Then
f7.
bishop f7.
Bishop f7 check, king h7, take the queen, king takes, and now what's the winning
And
move?
then-
Can you see the winning move after that?
Yeah,
Bishop
bishop to f4.
Excellent, very good, winning the knight. Yeah, very nice. That's how it ended. Bishop g8 check, king h8, bishop f7, wins back his.
I think I've seen this game before.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty nice game. And then
Pretty
bishop. So yes, after all that craziness, it's back to equality. But then he just wins back this pin knight, and then he wins a minor piece, and then yeah. So here Black just resigned. Facing Paul Morphy down a minor piece. He's like, forget it. So yeah, very nice blindfold simultaneous game by 21-year-old Paul Morphy. So I highly recommend you guys, practice your blindfold game. Do you guys know that there's a function on Lead Chess where you can make the pieces disappear, so you can practice your blindfold? Anybody, you guys know that?
I didn't. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew that.
you knew that. Yeah. So I'll just show you just so you guys know. So you go into settings, preferences, okay, and then you go. Let's see, where is it? Oh, game display. Yeah, so we're in game display. You go all the way down, and it says blindfold chess. You click yes, and now when you go back to your games, everything. Let's see. So if I were to play a game, let's say I play with a computer, because I did this against Stockfish, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, there. See the blindfold. Make your first move. See, and I mean, it's not technically blindfold because you can see the notation here, so you can kind of follow along if you forget. But it's fun. It's fun to practice this kind of thing because it really exercises that part of your brain, for memory.
Could we do that on Thursday?
You want to do that? Yeah. Yeah, we can practice blindfold. That'd be awesome. I've never tried like simultaneous blindfold games. I haven't tried that yet, but I have done one-on-one blindfold games. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully you guys can practice that. Just do a couple moves at a time, and before you know it, you're gonna be able to do 10 moves, 20 moves, 30 moves. Just like any muscle, takes practice. So, any questions, by the way? Or comments? What do you guys think of the games?
Great.
Games were good.
Yeah, pretty
Interesting. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I really enjoy seeing these kind of games because it shows you what's possible on the board. We play our games, but then when you're analyzing these master games, you're like, holy crap, people can do that. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, good seeing you guys. Maybe I'll see you guys again soon if Evan asks me to substitute again. But yeah, see you guys. Have a great night. Samuel, I guess I'll see you on Thursday.
All right, bye.
All right.
Thanks. See
Have
you
a great
guys.
night, everyone.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye.
Take care.